Hello everyone and welcome back to Sade Crochets. For this tutorial we will be making a beautiful bralette with a detailed stitch, and I'm going to be using Yarn Bee Must Be Merino Aran in the color Lilac Smoke. This color is discontinued, but they do have a lot of other nice colors for this yarn. But this is a medium weight 4 yarn, so any medium weight 4 yarn should work. And then I'm going to be using my G hook, which is a 4mm hook, and then you'll need a pair of scissors. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is make a slip knot. And then we're going to start off with our foundation chain. So for a size small, we're going to chain out 82 chains. For a medium, you'll chain out 90 chains. For a large, you'll chain out 98 chains. And for a 1X, you'll chain out 106 chains. Okay, so once you make your foundation chain for your size, now we're going to do row 1. So we're going to skip this first stitch and single crochet in the second chain from the hook, but I'm going to use the back bumps here. So that's my first back bump, so I'm going to go into the second one. But if you don't want to use the back bumps, you can totally just do regular into the V's. So we're just going to be putting 1 single crochet in every stitch across. And so I'll put up on the screen how many single crochets you should have at the end of this row. But it should be 1 less single crochet than you had in your foundation chain. So go ahead and put 1 single crochet in every stitch across. Alright, so once you are done with your first row of single crochets, now we're going to chain 1 and turn. So in this next row, we're going to begin our little fancy pattern. So in the first stitch, what you want to do is put a single crochet. Okay, and then we're going to skip 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and in that next stitch, in that 4th stitch away, we're going to put 9 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 9 double crochets all in the same stitch. And then we're going to skip 3 more stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then go back to a single crochet. So a single crochet in the next stitch. And then we're going to skip 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and put 9 double crochets in that next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put 9 double crochets in that next stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and so that's pretty much going to be the repeat. So now we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and in that 4th one, we'll put another single crochet. So we're skipping 3 and then putting 9 double crochets, and then skip 3 single crochet. So go ahead and repeat that. All right, so when you get to the end of the row, you should have a 9 double crochet shell, and then you should have 4 stitches left. So then you just skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet in the last stitch of the row. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1 and turn. And that last row we did is the first row of our repeating row. We're going to have a 4-row repeat for a while. So this is the second row of the repeat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do what I'm going to call it, for the sake of this pattern, a half cluster, but it's really double crocheting the next 5 stitches together. So what we're going to do is yarn over and insert our hook into that first stitch, which is the single crochet below, and then yarn over. So it's just like a double crochet, and we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 but not finish. And then we're going to do that into the next 4 stitches, the same thing. So we're going to yarn over we're going to do everything for a regular double crochet, and then we're just going to pull through 2 and not finish. So that's 2, this is 3, this is 4, and 5. So now you should have 6 loops on your hook, and so we'll yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook and then chain 1, and that is our half cluster. So now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and in this next stitch, so you can see that's the last stitch that we used, in the next stitch we're going to put 1 single crochet. And now we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to do our full cluster, which is double crocheting the next 9 stitches together. So we're going to do the same thing we did over here, but over the next 9 stitches instead of 5. So yarn over like you're going to do a double crochet, but don't finish it. So pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and don't finish. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 5th one should always be in the middle, but that's 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you should have 10 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now we're going to yarn over and pull through all of those loops on the hook and then chain 1. So that's the end of our full cluster. Chain 3, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 3, and then a full cluster, and we're going to do that all the way till we get to the last half, this last single crochet here. So when you get to the end, you should finish with a full cluster and then chain 3 and single crochet in the next stitch, and you should have 5 stitches left. And in those 5, well, first we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then in those 5, we'll do our half cluster. So yarn over and double crochet 5 together over the last 5 stitches. Four and 5. So you should have 6 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 6 and chain 1. And this is what it looks like so far. All right, so this is the next row of the repeat, which is row 4, but this is the 3rd row of our repeat. So what we're going to do now is chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to put 5 double crochets, but we're going to put the double crochets in the eye of that cluster below. So we're going to yarn over and put 5 double crochets into that eye, into that little hole there. So that's 1, 2, oops, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's what it looks like. 5 double crochets in the same stitch. And then we're going to skip this chain 3 and single crochet in the single crochet from the previous row. And then we're going to put 9 double crochets into this. We're going to skip this next chain 3 space and put 9 double crochets into the eye of the next cluster below. So 9 double crochets in that ring there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So now we have 9 double crochets in that same stitch, and then we're going to skip that chain 3 space and put a single crochet in the next single crochet. So now we're going to repeat with the 9 double crochets in the center of the eye of the next, and then single crochet in the next stitch. So it's going to repeat 9 double crochets in the same stitch, and then skip the chain 3, single crochet, skip the chain 3, 9 double crochets in the middle of the next cluster, and we're going to repeat that all the way down until we get to our half cluster at the end. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. It's pretty. And so you should have completed your last full cluster, and then you'll have another chain 3. So skip that chain 3 and single crochet in the single crochet below. And then we're going to put another half shell, or like 5 double crochets in the eye of the half cluster below. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that is the third row of our repeat. Okay, so now once you're done with this row, we're going to do our final row of the repeat. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. And in this first stitch, we are going to put a single crochet. And then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go straight into our 9 doubles crochet cluster. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And we're going to do that over the next 9 stitches. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we have our 10 stitches on our 10 loops on our hook, so yarn over and pull through all 10. And then chain 1 to close that eye, and then we'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so we are going to be repeating that. So we just did our single crochet, so we'll do chain 3, and then we'll do our 9-way cluster in the next dip, and then we'll chain 3 and put another single crochet. So we're repeating that all the way down, and I will see you there. Okay, so I finished my last 9-way cluster, and now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and there should be 1 stitch left in the row, so chain 3 and single crochet into that very last stitch of the row. And that's what it looks like so far. Pretty so far. So this is our repeat. So not row 1, which was all single crochets, but row 2, 3, 4, and 5, we're going to repeat those rows. And I'm going to put up on the screen how many times that you need to be repeating this pattern as my recommendation. I'm kind of making this up as I go. So just check this screen out, and this is how many times to repeat for each size. So go ahead and do your repeats, and I'll meet. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and as I said earlier, this is the shorter version. I wrote it down earlier. This is the shorter version. So a size small should have 13 rows, a medium is 15 rows, a large is 17 rows, and a 1X is 19 rows. And you can measure this against yourself. This part here needs to rise just above the nipple area. And if you like where this comes from in comparison at the bottom. So if you need this to be longer, you have to add 1 more complete round of the repeats or 4 more rows. So if you want it longer, check it out on the screen. I have the recommended amount of rows if you want to repeat this once or twice more just to get this to be a little bit longer. And then your last row should have this little half, like this little half here, and it should have like the full circle in the middle. So that's why you have to do another 4 more rounds, because the middle stitch needs to be this in between these two little dips here to make the pattern work. I hope that makes sense. But next we're going to start on the little side panels. So I did not fasten off yet. So we're going to start on the back of the band. So I'm going to chain 1 here, and then I'm going to be putting half double crochets. So I'm just going to space them out along. So I'm going to just space them out as best as I can. But what you want to do is you want to try to finish this row with an odd number of stitches. So go ahead and complete lining this row with half double crochets, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so now once you're done with your row of odd amount of half double crochets, go ahead and chain 1 and turn. And we are going to repeat this row once more. So we're going to start off by doing half double crochets, 1 half double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, so now I finished my second row of half double crochets, and we're just going to keep repeating this row for a while. Okay, so jumping ahead, size small and size medium, you can repeat that row until you have 9 rows total of half double crochet. So you would have repeated that second row 7 more times. And then for size 1x and for size large and 1x, you should have 11 rows of half double crochet total. So you should have repeated that second row 9 more times. So moving forward, now we're going to chain 1, which I already did, chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to make the little holes. So what you want to do is put a half double crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, skip that second stitch, and half double crochet in the third stitch. And then you're going to put 1 half double crochet in every stitch across until you reach your middle stitch, and that's why we needed an odd amount of stitches. And once you reach your middle stitch, then we're going to chain 1, skip that middle stitch, and half double crochet all the way down until you have 2 stitches left. All right, and when you have 2 stitches left, we're going to chain 1, skip that second to last stitch, and half double crochet in the last stitch. Okay, and from here you should be on the top side of your bralette, not on the bottom. Your last row, which is this row coming up, should end up on the bottom. So from here we're going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to just put 1 single crochet in every stitch across. So you should have the same number of single crochets as you had in the beginning of this half double crochet thing, and make sure you single crochet into those chain 1 spaces as well. All right, so now we have our 3 little holes made, and you should be on the bottom side of your bralette and not on the top side. So just make sure that, unless you want to tie it from the top down, actually you can do it that way. I'm just doing this from the bottom up. So now we're going to make our ties. So we're going to start chaining out a long chain, And size small, you can chain out 165 chains. A medium can chain out 175. A large can do 190, and a 1X can chain out 200. So a 1X chain out 200 chains. And once you make your string long enough for your size, we're just going to go ahead and fasten off. Okay, so now we have our first side of the band done, and now we're going to repeat the steps for the other side of the band. So you want to make sure, this is the bottom, you want to make sure that you reattach to the top corner here. So we're going to reattach our yarn and find that corner stitch, which is kind of kitty corner, so make sure you do find the corner stitch, the first stitch of that final row. It's a little bit below because it's kind of like a dipping thing, so just make sure you pay attention to that. But we're going to reattach our yarn with a double knot here. So once you have it reattached, we're going to work along the sides of the rows the same way we did the other side. So go ahead and pull up a loop and chain one, and then we're going to line this side with this exact same amount of half double crochets as we did on the first side. And then we're going to just repeat in general all of the steps that we did for this side, for this other side. So you're going to do the same amount of rows and then do your little holes in your string over here, and I'll meet you there. Alright, so once you finish your second side, just keep track that this is your second side versus the first, because we're going to finish the cups up here, and we're going to work on this second side first. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to find your middle stitch at the top of the band. I did make a note of that on the last one, but you need to make sure that you have a diamond here at the top of the band, and that's why I was saying that you needed to make sure that you were in line with those 4 rows of repeats, because there is 4 rows and every size needs to have a diamond in the middle here, and the row before to have half of the diamond completed. And this is how we're going to decrease and taper off these cups. Even though the cup kind of starts down here a little bit, this is the top here. So mark your center, and then we're going to reattach our yarn to that center stitch. So I'm going to remove this stitch marker and just reattach my yarn here with the double knots. And now we're going to actually work in the direction of the second band that we did, because that keeps us in line with the turn of the pattern. Like you want this pattern for sure to turn the same way that it was going to. So now we're going to start working in that direction. So I'm going to reinsert my hook into this center stitch and pull up a loop and chain 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put 1 single crochet in the same stitch, in that middle stitch there. Okay, so now we're going to keep in line with the pattern that we've been doing. So now we're going to put 9 double crochets in the middle, in the eye of that cluster. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9, just like that. And then we're going to skip that chain 3 and then single crochet in the next single crochet below. So it's kind of like just repeating the same pattern that we've been doing. We're just kind of starting in the middle of the row. And then, so we're going to repeat that, and this is for all the sizes. You're going to repeat that until you have four diamonds completed. So this is the first one, and then you got to do 1, 2, and 3 more. So go ahead and complete that, and then we're going to stop at the single crochet right here. Oh, and just one more note before we keep going. I know I said to do 4 diamonds for all the sizes, but if you are 1X and a size like double D, then you might want to do 5 diamonds, complete 5 diamonds on this next row here. You can do the 4 and see and put it up against yourself and see if you like it, but if you want more coverage, you can do that 5th one, and that goes for a large too. If you want to add this 5th diamond because you think you'll be more secure, then definitely do that. Okay, so this is what it looks like now, unless you wanted that 5th diamond. But from here, we're going to just turn. We're not going to chain 1 this time. So just go ahead and turn. And now we are going to slip stitch. So I'm going to skip this first single crochet and just slip stitch into this double crochet here. So I'm going to slip stitch until I get to the 4th double crochet below. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I'm at the 5th double crochet below, and that is the middle stitch. So in that middle stitch, I'm going to single crochet in that 5th one. And now I'm going to do that little 9 double crochet cluster that we've been doing. So now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and do my 9-way cluster. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then you should have 10 loops on your hook here. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all of those and chain 1 to complete, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet. So we're going to repeat that across, and it's the same pattern that we've been doing. We're going to repeat it across until we get a single crochet in our last shell. So it would be the top of the 4th shell. We'll get that last single crochet. Unless you did 5, it'll be the top of the 5th one. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. So we started off with 4, and now we just have 3 of those little half bottoms of the diamonds. Unless you had 5, then you should have 4 in the middle there. So from here, those 2 rows kind of just repeat. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to kind of repeat that first row that we did. We're just doing the tops of the diamonds. So we're going to single crochet in the single crochet, and then we're going to skip that chain 3 and put 9 double crochets in the eye of that cluster below. And so we're going to just finish our 9 and then do our skip 3 single crochet and do the 9 just like we've been doing. And then your last stitch will be in this single crochet at the end of completing that 3rd diamond, or your 4th diamond if you did 5. But go ahead and complete the diamonds that are here. Okay, so I completed my 3 diamonds, and then I'm just going to single crochet in that next single crochet like that. And that's what it looks like now. So we're just going to keep repeating that. We're going to, we're not going to chain 1 here, and then we're just going to turn, and then we're going to slip stitch until we slip stitch into that 4th double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to single crochet in that 5th single crochet to start off the next row. But it's just repeating those first 2 rows that we did, and then eventually you should have 1 diamond left that you're going to complete and do the top row of. So I will meet you there. Okay, so I'm on my second to last row. I have the bottom of my final diamond done, so I chained 1 and turned, and I'm just going to complete that the top of the last diamond by putting 9 double crochets into the eye of that cluster below. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then skip 3 and single crochet in that single crochet below. Sometimes it's hard to see it, so just pick a good spot. I think I actually went into the slip stitch, but yeah, so that's what it looks like. So now we're going to fasten off. And that is what the top of your first cup should look like. So now after you fasten off, you're going to reattach your yarn to the corresponding space on the other side. So if you did 5, then you'll count over 5 diamonds. But I did 4, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the single crochet before that 4th diamond, or that 5th diamond. So go ahead and reattach here, and then we're going to just repeat these steps to make an identical top of the cup. Oh, and just to answer your question, I just completed the first row of the second cup. Just make sure that you do put a single crochet in that middle stitch too. Both tops of the cups are going to use that middle stitch. All right, so once you finish the top of both cups, we'll fasten off on that cup. Oh, I already chained 1. And then we'll start on our ties. So I'm just going to weave in my tails. All right, so what we're going to do is start off by chaining some chains. So make another slip knot, and then we're going to chain our top tie out. So a size small, you can chain 135, medium is 140, a large is 145, and a 1X is 150. All right, so once you chain out your chains for your size, we're going to grab our top, and then we're going to look at this top shell and then find the 3rd double crochet from the right side, or if you're left-handed, you would find it on this side. And you want to try to pick your front side. This is the side where the stitches are facing you, and on the back you can kind of see that the stitches are facing the other side. That's the side I picked as the front, but actually if you like this side, you can make this side the front. That's up to you. But I'm picking on the front side that I chose, and then I'm going to find the third double crochet, so 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to single crochet into that third double crochet. So pull up a loop and single crochet. And then I'm going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's 5 single crochets total that we did. And then I'm just going to chain out the same amount that I just did. So 135, 140, 145, or 150. And once you're done with your second strap, go ahead and fasten off. And then we're going to repeat that for the second side. So you'll just start on the right, pick the third one, and do 5 single crochets, and then chain your chain. Okay, so once you finish both of your top ties and fasten them off, we are pretty much done. You just need to weave in any tails you haven't yet, and then weave your back ties through. So I like to weave them through the bottom first before I go up, but I mean that's pretty easy to do there. And other than that, you are completely done, and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I love this bralette so much. It's so like dreamy and whimsy, and yeah, so that is all. So thank you all so much for watching once again, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment if you like this video, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.